Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Of course, another Laker loss to discuss here. Lakers played the Mavericks tonight at the Crow, and I thought they put up a valiant effort, but just weren't able to really do a whole lot without a center being run out there. You had Dwight Howard playing about 4 minutes, and as a result, the Lakers did not have the size necessary to give themselves a chance on the boards, as always. And only had 4 offensive rebounds out there. Now, if you watch the Lakers games that Dwight has played in, you'd watch him probably get 4 offensive boards in about 4 possessions. I don't even think it'd take that long for him to get 4 offensive boards. Um, there was one sequence where I watched him pull down 3 offensive boards in 1 possession. I think in the last game, we had a total of 4 of them tonight, with him having a total of 4 minutes on the floor. I reiterate all of that because it really does sum up everything. The guys play hard, as always. You got guys driving into the paint, not really getting the whistles, but still trying to be aggressive, doing their best. But without a center, man, it's like drinking water through a ladle, man. I don't care how hard you try, gravity's going to take over, and that's the reality of the Los Angeles Lakers situation. The thing that's really disturbing about it is the fact that they think it's the better option. I just have a real tough time with that, and I think most of the fan base does at this point. Everybody I've talked to, everybody I've listened to, we all agree that small ball does not work for this team. I don't think it really works, period, but it definitely does not work for this team, this personnel. Yet, we just continue to run the same stuff over and over again, get the same result. People can act like they're upset. They ain't that upset because they ain't making no changes. So I want to give credit to the Dallas Mavericks, as I always do. I try to give credit to the opponent. Um, they played a solid game defensively, particularly Jalen Brunson with 4 steals. I thought he was really fantastic defensively. Um, Luka Doncic was obviously a superstar out there as always, and the Lakers could not stop them from scoring down the stretch, nor could we score at all. Same thing that happened in the Clipper game is the same thing that happened in this game. We just down the stretch could not get anything going for ourselves. You know, um, just couldn't score and couldn't stop. That was it. It was one of those situations where I think they had like almost down, almost they were almost perfect down the stretch of the game. The Dallas Mavericks were. I think they went with like 7 straight shots almost to close the game. I think they had missed a shot or two as the game expired, but during the meat and potatoes of the fourth quarter, they basically were unstoppable, and were stopping us left and right. Um, I thought LeBron played a better game. I thought the energy for the team was much better than, in terms of what you want to see from them. They bounced back strong. Second straight game for Russell Westbrook where he did not turn the ball over, so that's definitely noteworthy. But I didn't feel like he played his greatest game because he was 5 for 17. So while you want to praise somebody for clearing up something that really has been a demon for them, you also have to look at the inefficiency and say you might as well turn the ball over because it's the same damn thing, dude. When you take some of the shots that he takes and they don't get rebounded by our team, the possession goes to the other squad, so it's just as good as a turnover. And I think when you just want to see Russell Westbrook regain his confidence again, and tonight was one of those nights where you could just clearly see he was second guessing himself. Certain plays kind of fell apart because he didn't do what he was supposed to do in certain situations. Maybe didn't take a shot there, or maybe overpassed here, or probably tried to drive here when he should have just pulled up. Certain things like that where you as I said in the last game, where there's two decisions to make, he would just make the wrong one. We saw a continuation of that type of thing tonight. Just more of the same there. THT had a lot of that going on tonight as well. Even though he was 3 for 6, that's 50% shooting. All in all, his plus minus was bad because of some of the same exact type of stuff, where there's two places to go and he goes the wrong way each time. It was a lot of that with THT, particularly in the fast break. 2 straight fast breaks that he botched himself by just not making the right play with the person he was running with. Stuff like that. It's like, THT, I respect that you're a young player, but you gotta respect the fact that we see young players who, some of them are younger than you, who do not make these type of mistakes, bro. like a fast break, a simple fast break with LeBron James. You can't run a fast break with the best player in the world, man. I mean, at some point in time, we got to say this ain't got nothing to do with being young. Because I can tell you, LaMelo Ball could have ran that fast break with LeBron James at 16 years old, no problem. So it just comes down to how focused are you, how dedicated are you to your craft, and how serious are you about being the best player you can be. Because, THT on some days he looks like he's really up for it. Other days he looks like he looked tonight. And it wasn't a lacking in energy. It was just a lacking in IQ, focus, and intellect. Just be smart, man. Be smart. Make good quality plays and continue to be aggressive and work your progressions. You will get there. It's just frustrating for us as a team that needs win now pieces. We paid you and all that nonsense, but at the end of the day, you just want THT to continue to work. Austin Reeves had an awful night tonight. He's having an awful week for his standards, but the thing I like about Austin is that he finds ways of helping his team win when everything isn't falling for him. If the shots ain't falling, he's drawing fouls. He's getting offensive rebounds. He's trying to block shots. He's bodying people up. So you saw how he was able to help even though the scoring hasn't been there all week. The three ball hasn't fallen it and all of that. He's slumping bad. But what you're not seeing is a lack of try hard. And I think that's what we want to see from our youngsters. Malik Monk bounced back some tonight, even though the stat sheet didn't really tell it. His mechanics getting a little better out there, snapping out of that slump. I like what I saw from him for the most part. Stanley Johnson hit the three ball really nicely in that first half. I like what I saw from Stanley. He's been getting sporadic minutes, but just like I always say, he's not hesitant to take open shots. You leave him open, he will not hesitate, and I really, really like his game. I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to get big minutes for our team going down the stretch of this season. Carmelo Anthony had a very good game tonight, bounced back strong. I think he had like 20-something points or something, so he was very, very helpful out there. And I thought we had some good defensive sequences as a team tonight. I saw some really good defensive moves. Even though we were playing extreme small ball, the fact of the matter is Dallas isn't that big themselves. So what we saw was an ability to kind of run those 3 forward lineups and still get stops here and there, still give ourselves an opportunity to be competitive. And that's what I was ultimately happy about. We didn't walk away victorious, but I did feel like the effort that I wanted to see, I got. And when you have a team that's struggling as bad as we are, you lower those expectations to what it is that you think they can do. And that's what I've done. So, I don't believe in moral victories. I certainly don't consider this one. But I do think that we did a good job of picking up the pieces from what was just one of the worst efforts you'll ever see. And coming back in there with our head high and fighting again. Too bad it didn't come out to a victory, but it was a lot in this game that you could say, oh, all right, let's just keep on going. We know who we are, we know who we're not. But I think these are the type of games where you're like, well, we keep on scratching, we're eventually going to get better. You keep on playing the way you did tonight, and eventually you will see the improvements that you're hoping to see. Something that Frank Vogel mentioned a long time ago when discussing his small ball roster. He was saying that guys need to get better at doing the things that are necessary in order for those lineups to work. He said that. And while I don't love that concept, I do see it starting to formulate. And what I mean by that is Austin Reeves is becoming a better offensive rebounder. Malik Monk is becoming a better defensive player. Stanley Johnson is finding ways of being helpful in those situations as well. You're seeing guys getting used to being in these awkward situations. And, that's just what it is. I don't particularly love that they have to continue practicing in these under these circumstances. But since they are under these circumstances, you'd like to see progression within these parameters. So the fact of the matter is I'm seeing our guys become more of set mentally for what it is they're being asked to do. In fact, the person I'm seeing struggle the most with that is our center, LeBron James. He doesn't think like a center, and this is not a new thought. I've said this a million times. He doesn't think like a center, and a lot of the time, even though he can get boards, he can block shots, he can do things that big men can do, because he's not a natural big man, his instincts don't make him a big man. The things that he thinks first don't necessarily put him in a position to be the best center on the floor at a given moment. And that hurt us tonight. You saw that it hurt us all season long when they played him at center, but it really hurt us tonight. I just felt like there were times where you wanted him to box out, times where you wanted him to kind of be on top of certain things just as a big man, and he's not a big man. So I think that's what the Lakers have to understand when they try to construct this team next season. Small ball works when you have players that have the mentality of being who it is that they're supposed to be when they're running small ball. Undersized forwards who think center. I can't think of a guy like that right now who's in the league, that maybe Draymond Green or somebody like that. It's probably the best prototype playing right now. But like from yesteryear, you think of a lot of guys. They had a lot of guys like that who were 6'8", 6'7", but they would come in and be excellent small ball guys. Reggie Evans is a name that comes to mind. You know what I mean? That kind of guy, to where, yeah, he's small, but he's gonna think big. He's gonna think in his mind like he's 7'1", looking to bang with people, and that's just what we don't have on this roster without Dwight Howard. So, being that coach doesn't want to play him, so what you saw out there is just a lot of small ball results, and it made for a victory for the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think they win the game if we just play a traditional center out there and allow him to do traditional center stuff. There are certain plays where you'll see an opportunity for us to get an offensive board, or a situation where maybe we missed a layup, and when the center's on the floor, they'll clean that rebound up, maybe get fouled and get to the line, as to which instead now it's a transition basket for the other team because we didn't rebound it. These are the type of things that you don't realize a center affects so much, but you can really see where the effort of these guards and these forwards that we have out there just goes lost. Like I said, it's like drinking water with a ladle. It's got holes in it, so there's absolutely no way you're going to sip. And that's kind of what's happening there. Put all your might into sipping and nothing's going to happen for you because the water's going out before it ever gets to your mouth. That's what it's like when we don't run a center. Stanley Johnson's effort, THT, all those guys, Austin Reeves, all the effort goes out the window because you got holes all through your roster. So that's what happened to them. That's what happened to them this season, but that's definitely what happened to them tonight. I just don't know how a coach can pride himself on being a defensive coach, see this every night, and not feel the urge to make changes. That's the part that I have a real tough time with. Watching as a fan, I'm like, even if it's something I believe in, if I watch it fail enough times, I'm going to let it go. I've already passed that mark for myself in terms of the number. I would have changed my plan if I were coach. And the fact that he hasn't is kind of scary. It's like, what are we doing? It makes you have questions about the politics of the situation. It makes you have questions about his head space. Honestly, like, what are we doing? But I don't think I have the answer for that question. I don't know. What I can say is the losses are piling up. LeBron is continuing to take the wear and tear of playing these big minutes. Still a lot of games left to play, and we're still going to ask him to play the center position. I just don't think it's smart. I'm watching this team continue to get worse, not only as it pertains to what's going on the court, but also as it pertains to how they're handling what their responsibilities are. I'm not sensing that they get it. I'm sensing that this is going to continue to get worse because the people at the top truly are not sure about what they need to do, and it's very unfortunate, man. It's very unfortunate. But it isn't for the Dallas Mavericks, not on this night, because they get them a victory. You just got to take your hat off to Luka Doncic, a true superstar in this league. Obviously somebody who came in with the intent of closing this team out tonight, and he did that. With the help of his teammates, they got the victory. 5 players in double figures. They controlled the boards. I think they had 11 offensive rebounds themselves. I think it was one They had one more turnover than us. I think it was 13-12 on that one. What hurt the Lakers was not being able to shoot well from the field. We actually shot well from the three. I think we shot 45% from three, and 80-something from the free throw line. But we couldn't hit the ones inside the perimeter. A lot of missed layups, a lot of missed jump shots, that kind of thing. Very difficult to win that way when you can't score the ball. So that's what stood out. Spencer Dinwiddie and his 8 assists, he was definitely helpful. Playing off of Luka Doncic, getting him the ball, getting the ball to Reggie Bullock and players like that. That dynamic is something that I didn't realize would benefit Luka so much, is having an off-ball passer, somebody who can get him catch and shoot jump shots and allow him to play off the ball a little bit. Spencer does that, because I don't know that Jalen Brunson is necessarily that type of passer. I don't know, but Spencer's definitely got some traditional point guard skills. So that is a second facilitator that I think it helped the Dallas Mavericks. It looked pretty good tonight. Davis Bertans, he had 10 minutes, didn't scratch, didn't look good out there. I don't know what they were thinking acquiring his contract, but he looks like he's carrying his Washington ways to Dallas. I saw nothing that made me feel good about that contract at all. Nothing at all, for whatever that's worth. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. LeBron James played pretty well, but ultimately wasn't able to close the game out. I felt like there were some plays down the stretch that were similar to the way that I've been speaking about him lately in terms of taking three-point shots that weren't necessary. Now tonight, they were falling. I think the shots that he took were necessary. I think that the threes that he took, particularly in that third quarter, got us back in the game. You want to give credit to him, along with Stanley Johnson, Malik Monk, Carmelo Anthony, Kent Bazemore. Those guys all contributed to helping behind the arc, getting us back into that game. But, down the stretch, they just couldn't close. Dallas closed better. They ran better stuff, executed better down the stretch, better lineups on the floor, more size for themselves. And for ourselves, us, well, we were jacking up bullcrap. As I said, some of the threes that we shot up were no good. I think the last shot that Bron shot up with maybe 20 seconds ago or something was awful, out of rhythm. Just a losing type of shot. I'm telling you, man, I can't stress this enough. Kobe has made me appreciate how games are supposed to be closed. The timing from which he attacked when there's time expiring, the way that he handled his picking his spots, the way that he handled the pressure of being in closing moments and allowing the game slow down for himself and being able to zero in and do what he needs to do to win the basketball game. I had no idea how unique he was in that way. I knew he was doing the impossible. What I didn't realize is how difficult it was for everybody else. When you only watch that player do greatness for 20 years, you just think, okay, this is how it's done. When you're great, you do it this way. No. This team, with all these great players, has taught me that skill set is a lost art form. How to handle the last 2 minutes, how to continue fighting when you're down by, say, 8 with like a minute and a half to go. He kept fighting, and we won some of them games. The team we have right now with these superstars, they don't know how to win those games. They don't know how to fight in those games. They don't know how to win that way. And that's what this has taught me. We got a bunch of Hall of Famers that don't necessarily thrive in winning situations. They've done a lot of success, had a lot of success individually with their stats and what they've been able to do in all-star games. But when it's time to win, they get outsmarted. They get out executed, and that's just what I see on a consistent basis watching this team every night. They don't know how to win. They don't know how to win. And so I guess the challenge is for them to figure that out together. It's a challenge. I was looking at Russell Westbrook tonight. He had his lift tonight. He got a couple good dunks down there. But there was a play that sticks out in my mind where he took a side jump shot with 4 seconds to go as time was expiring in the third quarter or something like that. If my mind is fluttered when it comes to that particular play, but it was just the timing, and it gave the Dallas Mavericks an opportunity at an expiring shot to end the quarter, and I'm just like, that's horrible clock management. You're a Hall of Famer. You're supposed to make sure they don't get the ball back, even though it's not the fourth quarter. You still don't allow them to get the ball in that situation. First of all, you didn't even make the shot. it clanked off the rim with 4 seconds to go. I mean, it was just the timing of it all was just, this is what you do when you don't know how to succeed in situations. I can't stress it enough. That's just not how it's done. And so I'm just not impressed, man. I'm not impressed. I think the NBA, and I want to be careful as I say this, but I think the NBA needs to do a much better job with the next generation of talent, the new crop of guys that are coming into the league, to make sure that they have good coaching early on, to make sure that there's good coaches in each and every situation, stability in each and every situation, because what you end up having is really, really talented players getting rewarded but never actually learning how to win, how to properly close out a basketball game. You know, you got a guy like Russell Westbrook, who's spent his whole career thriving in the NBA just to get to a point where his athleticism is gone, and you find out he can't even play. Like, he was relying so much on his athleticism that it masked the fact that he wasn't actually that good at the sport. And that it hurts to say, but it's the truth, man. You watch him without his athleticism, and his fundamentals down here with mine. Like some of the stuff he do out there, I don't think I would make them decisions myself. So it's like, man, I don't know, bro. I just want to see guys get good coaching. I want to see young players get off to good starts, and I want to see them get their opportunities now. That's why I want us to get these old guys off this team, so we can start facilitating ourselves some new talent and start this process that I'm talking about here. Getting them better coaching so that we can have a better league overall, so that the talent that comes into this league going forward does not mismanage the clock and stuff like what I'm seeing out there. Just blows my mind watching Hall of Famers do remedial stuff. But it is what it is, and I see it a lot with this team. So good coaching is necessary. So yeah, man, that's my spiel, man. I don't know, you know me, when it comes to these games, I'm not the guy that's gonna sit here and say, and this happened, and this happened, and this. I don't know, man. The Lakers lost. Shoot, go to somebody with a photographic memory to talk about all the stuff that actually happened in that game. I think the truth of the matter is, Luka dunked on somebody. We couldn't hit a shot down the stretch. We couldn't get a rebound to save our lives because we were all under 6'5". That's exactly what happened out there. That's what happened every game. It's Frank Vogel, man. What's the motto, y'all? Doesn't matter at all what the other team is about. Frank Vogel is going to leave the door open for them. It's just a matter of whether or not they're going to walk through it. Dallas walked through it tonight. New Orleans stormed through it. Clippers walked through it. Everybody's walking through our door, man. Anybody comes into the Crow, you can just count them in for a victory at this point. That's how far we've fallen, Genie. BDF 44. Peace.